Today on The Biz.
I never wanted to fit in with my music. Whatever the trend was, I usually went the opposite direction.
A rare, in-depth interview. Prince. His candid thoughts on the music business, his hugely successful tour, and his spiritual and musical rebirth. Prince on The Biz.
Call my name. Call my name.
Hello and welcome to The Biz, our show on the media and entertainment industries. I'm David Haffenreffer. Thank you for joining us. On our program today, a musical innovator, a master of reinvention. My sit-down interview with Prince. He's the focus of this entire special episode of The Biz. He was born Prince Rogers Nelson in 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He taught himself how to play the guitar and bass, and at the age of 18, recorded demos for what would be his first album. The next year, he struck a lucrative deal with Warner Brothers, reportedly for $100,000. The arrangement gave him complete control over his own albums, making Prince the youngest producer in Warner's history. For 25 years, Prince has been fusing rock, soul, folk, and jazz, creating a unique sound that has sold nearly 100 million albums along the way. Despite suggestive themes, his first big break came with an appearance on mainstream American Bandstand in 1980. His first hit album, 1999, hit stores in 1982. It produced 3 hit singles, including Little Red Corvette and 1999. The album reigned supreme on the charts for the next 3 years. Then, in 1984, came Purple Rain. It was Prince's acting debut, and the soundtrack, which he produced, arranged, and composed, shot to the top of the charts, winning him a Grammy and Oscar for Best Original Score. With the release of Around the World in a Day, which generated Raspberry Beret, Prince formed his own record label, Paisley Park. He then looked to bestow his music magic on other artists, working with Sheila E., Vanity, and Morris Day. In 1986, the Bangles scored a #2 hit with the Prince-scribed Manic Monday. It never moved into the #1 slot, though. The reason? Prince was already there with Kiss. The late 80s also saw the release of Parade, the soundtrack to Prince's directorial debut, Under the Cherry Moon, the double album Sign of the Times, Love Sexy, and the soundtrack to Batman. In the early 1990s, Prince founded Paisley Park Productions and released Graffiti Bridge, a sequel to Purple Rain, and Diamonds and Pearls, spawning another #1 single, Cream. In 1992, he signed a highly publicized contract with Warner Brothers Records, reportedly for $100 million over 6 albums. The next year, Prince announced that he was changing his name to a symbol composed of the symbols for male and female. This led him to being known as the artist formerly known as Prince, or The Artist. A double album of greatest hits followed, but things turned sour with Warner Brothers, with Prince appearing prominently wearing the word slave on his face. He claimed that the label was seeking too much control of his music and released The Most Beautiful Girl in the World under a new label imprint, New Power Generation. After releasing, he ended his tumultuous deal with Warner Brothers in 1996. Emancipation followed. His 1998 release, appropriately entitled Crystal Ball, broke ground in terms of record distribution. It was released via the internet and with no middleman reportedly reaped millions for him. In 2000, Prince officially reclaimed his name. A series of web-released albums followed. And in 2004, he released his 29th album, Musicology, with Columbia Records. When When you put it all together, it adds up to 4 Grammys, 19 top 10 singles, and 10 top 10 albums. I recently caught up with Prince and the Musicology tour bus. We had a candid discussion about the music business, spirituality, and the evolution of his music over the past 25 years. Sold-out concert tour. Are you wowed by the performance of your performance so far?
Well, we sort of expected it. One nice thing about this record is that it was delivered to every concert goer via AEG and NPG in conjunction. And we knew when the tickets were sold how many people would actually have the album.
That one idea, that simple idea, it sounds simple, but not many people, not if anybody has really done this before, to give the CD away to everybody who buys a concert ticket. A novel approach, but one that has now all of a sudden rewritten the rules a little bit. Has it not?
Well, the rules were made by people who don't really play music, so I think some of them need to be rewritten.
In fact, I believe SoundScan has already changed the way they're going to account for other groups in the future who use the same strategy here, but you've been grandfathered in for musicology.
Well, to some degree we have. All truth be told, SoundScan has not really counted all the albums that have gone out to concert goers. And the album is included in the ticket price, and we do get paid back for the album sale. At the same time, there's roughly 450,000 copies that they haven't counted. So that being said, the rules do need to be rewritten a bit.
Did you feel the electricity in the album itself when you were putting the album together itself?
Well, that's a hard question for me because I'm so close to the music. I love the album in the sense that I got back to playing a lot of the instruments myself. I've been using a lot of other musicians in past records. It's been a growth period for me, and I'm kind of getting back to the basics. Basic sound of Minneapolis sound now.
You're using Columbia to manufacture and distribute the CD, but that's it. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about the role of music labels.
Well, for real artists such as myself, I'm trying to make a career out of this. So I don't want to just have one album and then out of here. That's what a lot of young acts are about these days, and the record companies are cool with that because then they kind of get a disposable, quick fix of these young acts and then move on to the next one. They also don't have to make any long-term deals, which means that the act is going to make a great deal more money than just coming out with their first record. The situation I have with Sony is unique in the sense that they respect my career, and they understand that it's important that we own the work, so there isn't an issue about that, and they've just been beautiful all the way around.
How do you advise young talent when they come in who want to get into the music industry?
It depends on what it is they're trying to achieve. If you talk to a lot of kids now, they're programmed by the star-making machinery like American Idol and MTV and things like that. So if they're into that, then the music industry is cool. If they're looking to have five albums plus career, then wow, I would advise starting a new industry and staying free and not signing any long-term restrictive contracts, because in the end you end up owning nothing.
Advice to those new to the music industry from an industry veteran. Prince discusses touring, spirituality, and musical innovation. More with my interview with Prince after the break.
Listen to the groove, y'all. Let it unwind your mind. No intoxication. Let's see what I see. Dancing hot and sweaty, right in front of me. Oh, call it what you like. I'm a call it how I feel. This is just another. Musicology.
Define funk for me, because it's something, at least for me, that I hear, but I can't describe.
Well, if you can describe it, it ain't funky.
Is it that simple?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's, wow.
Is it in a beat?
No. You know, I've given different answers to that. One time I just said Maceo Parker.
If you want to have a music that says, hey, get up and dance, or hey, clap your hands, or hey, move your feet, or move your body, so on and so on, reason for celebrating, then funky music to me fits that.
To me, funk, why I like funk actually is because it gives you this, this feeling.
Funk, you know, it's soul. It's a song come from here. And this is the main thing I think about music, you know. It's not about technique, it's about soul. And make people dance and groove and make, you know, smile.
I define funk, it's something that makes you want to hold your nose in a good way. It's stinky, it's hot, it's sweaty, and it makes you want to do that funk face. Just go. That's what it is.
That is Prince's current new power generation lineup. More now with their band leader, Prince. NPG Music Club has been a success even before other digital downloading arenas were even open. What role do you see the internet playing in the future?
Well, one of the things I think that we have over other companies like that and music clubs like that is the face of me. Our music club has my face to sell it. The other systems, they're kind of just uploading content that doesn't really belong to them, and it's just kind of a smorgasbord. But there's just one artist whose music you can get at NPG Music Club right now, and that's mine.
Musically, how do you evolve musically, and how do you hone your own craft?
Musically, I think I've evolved by the simple fact of working on my spirit as a human being. I've been studying the Bible as of late, and it's began to play a major role in my life, so it's going to affect everything, especially the music, because music is so dear to me. That said, I think that I don't know if I'm getting to be a better guitar player or a better singer or anything like that, but I feel more confident, I guess I would say, in my gifts.
Are there any challenges in playing some of your older music on a nightly basis when you're on a tour like this, and how do you keep it fresh?
One of the ways we keep it fresh is we use new musicians. Simple fact that we have Maceo Parker playing in the band and Candy Delfer, and this new kid named Chance Howard, who's an amazing singer, instrumentalist. They bring different colors to the music, and some people, like myself, they keep bands for 15, 20 years, but I like to find new young kids that have something that they can bring to the sound.
You're not sacrificing a musical tightness by bringing in new musicians either.
Oh, not at all. Tightness is the key, and also respect for each other. Renato Neto, the piano player, is an amazing player, and he usually leads his own band, and just coming in and having the respect that he has for me, he allows me to lead this band and keep it tight that way. So Renato, Rhonda, John, all the new players, if they love and respect one another, that's what I think makes the tightness, not rehearsal over and over and over.
What role does the audience play for you during a concert, and is there really a two-way exchange of emotion?
Oh, absolutely. That's what it's about, really. And I come there for that, and I ask them to be interactive with us and give us all that they can from the very beginning. There's a call and response nearly in every song, and I vibe off of them. And that's another reason why it's important for musicians to understand that when you bring pre-recorded shows to a concert, it's it's going to be different every night. The audience is anyway. If you bring a pre-recorded show, then you can't vibe off the audience because it's structured then. And I think that's cool for the circus, you know. Trapeze artist has to catch the other person right on cue, but music is not like that. It should be organic and unexpected.
The theater and the round, I'm guessing, helps that communication back and forth between the audience and you on the stage.
Oh, definitely. It's really hard to go back to straight stages now. I don't know that I ever will. It's so powerful to be in the center of all that energy and to pass it back and forth. It's incredible.
A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun.
20 years since Purple Rain was released, and I couldn't believe it, that much time had passed. Does it surprise you? Do you think about that much?
No, sir, I don't count years. I don't count time. I don't let it weigh my mind down that way. I like to believe that I'm about 20 years old, so if I keep thinking that, then so be it.
But when I listen to Purple Rain, even today, it feels as musically relevant today as it was edgy and vanguard back then.
Oh,
it still feels very current.
I appreciate you saying that. One of the reasons I think that is that I never wanted to fit in with my music. Whatever the trend was, I usually went the opposite direction because I wanted to still be here talking to you.
There are many kings. King Henry VIII, King Solomon, King Tut, King James, King Kong. The three kings, but there is only one prince.
Earlier this year, an induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you?
It was really a wonderful night. I'm not much into awards and things like that, but the honor was great. It was wonderful to be around great people, the other musicians in the room. And it was great for the other musicians, I think, who look up to me and can see that somebody like me going against the grain, you can be honored that far down the line.
Musical. Musicology.
Prince is capable of things on a stage that no other performer can even approach. The range of things that he can do, the different styles that he can play, the different voices in which he can sing, the different instruments that he can play. There's almost nobody who makes any sense to even compare to Prince. The word genius gets overused an awful lot, but if there is anybody in pop music that you can make a strong case for genius, Prince is the one.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's a musical genius. I think he's just one of those people who's being blessed with the ability to kind of have this wealth of talent.
And now the conclusion of my interview with Prince. What your musical motivations were as a kid coming up through the ranks?
A lot of them are named on the song musicology, James Brown, Earth, Wind and Fire. I listened to musicians. I didn't really listen to performers. Mm-hmm. I looked to people who actually structured their own songs, songwriters and really great singers.
Where do you put yourself in your career right now?
Oh, I always feel like I'm just starting.
Just starting?
Yeah.
A lot more to give?
Oh, yeah, and every year I meet new people that I want to work with, and I always have wonderful ideas for operas and movies and things like that, but it takes time, so.
What will you do once the tour is over?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably rest a little bit.
Will it ever be over?
Does it ever get fatiguing on the road?
Not really, no. The music actually gives me the spirit and the energy to perform again. So.
Are there any songs that you look at or listen to of your own that you recorded that you, I guess not regret, but maybe don't like anymore?
No, I understand why I wrote it at the time. I don't have regrets like that when it comes to music. As you grow and as you evolve, you learn more about yourself, you learn more about the people around you, you start to see yourself as part of the whole universe, and all that changes. So I think I've done the best that I could at what I had to work with at the time.
Do you take your artistic cues off what you were experiencing in life at that particular point?
To some degree, you can't help but to. At the same time, I like to try to let people influence me, you know, other musicians, musicians that are in my groups, not ones that are looking to start trends or, you know, or that I see on TV or something like that, but just people that I meet that move me spiritually.
You played at the Grammy Awards with Beyonce. It looked like a ton of fun. And people were talking about it for weeks afterwards, still are, to this day, the performance that you and Beyonce gave. You got to know her a little bit as you prepared for that.
I was really curious as to how much she knew musically, and I was really pleased to find out that she knew a lot about scales, mixolydian scales and Egyptian styles and different things like that. And I was just trying to show her some chords on the piano and help her to respect the fact that if she learns piano a la Aretha Franklin and Ray Charles and things like that, I mean, the sky's the limit as to what she could do, because she's so very talented.
Do you listen to the radio?
No.
Oh, no. And are there musicians out there? I read in one interview that you admire Alicia Keys.
I happen to have met Alicia Keys through my own music, strangely enough. She called me and told me that she had covered one of my tunes. So that's how I like to meet people, through music itself, organically, when I don't expect it, you know, and we've come to be good friends just, you know, based upon the music.
Is that gratifying to get a phone call from an artist saying, I've covered one of your songs?
Yes, any sort of respect and love that I receive from other musicians is so cherished, because they're, I don't want to say a dying breed, but, you know, they're struggling out here now.
Is there a song that you're most proud of?
I like to think of all my music as one song, and I'm curious to hear what the last one that I write is going to sound like. I know what the first one was. I'm just curious as to what the last one will be.
Well, it's probably safe to say that we're going to hear a whole lot more from him for many years to come. We leave you today with a clip from 1981. A 23-year-old recording artist named Prince was new to the music scene, and like the advent of cable news at the time, he had his doubters. And the rest, as they say, is history.
He looks a little like Mick Jagger. He looks a little Hispanic. He looks a little black. He's got a little punk, a little disco.
He's definitely different.
Gonna be a big star, do you think?
Definitely. Definitely. No question about it.
During the Reagan years?
Perhaps more so because of the Reagan years. Thank you for watching this special edition of The Biz. I'm David Haffenreffer.
Trouble thing, right on the bed, all the way to the crib. Body move, just like a dog. That's what I'm talking about. Keep the old school joints.